Tonight on SpeedWeek, Jeff Gordon and his DuPont team pool their resources and take the rock to the bank. This team has surfaced, and their competition already has a sinking feeling. And have we got a fish story that is this big? SpeedWeek is next. Hello, everyone, and welcome to SpeedWeek. I'm Dave Calabro, substituting for Bob Jenkins. He's off on a short trip to the Iditarod in Alaska, of all places. He'll be back on our next show with an inside look at that special race. I'm joined tonight, though, by ESPN racing analyst Derek Daly, who's going to give us a look at the season opener of the IndyCar season in Miami. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
You've been going to a lot of test sessions, a lot of traveling. Let's talk about the status of IndyCar racing right now.
There's no doubt in my mind, IndyCar racing are about to have the biggest and best season of racing I think they've ever had. The depth of competition and teams is bigger than ever, and I think you're going to see lap records broken at every racetrack.
Sounds exciting to me. Now, there's a lot of changes this year. You've compiled positives and negatives about various teams. Well, let's get to it.
Okay, here we go. And we'll start with what we call the Big Five, and you have to start with Team Penske. Alonso Jr. returns to defend his championship, and this year he will only have one teammate, Emerson Fittipaldi. Now, there are so many positives about this group. They will continue with proven successful ingredients. They have a deeper pool of engineering talent than any of the opposition. And there's no denying that Unser and Fittipaldi are two of the world's best in the cockpit. And both of these drivers know how to win championships. So teamwork, teamwork, and teamwork is why these people are so successful. I can really only find one negative. The only way this team would not repeat at Indy or in the championship is the sheer numbers of teams against them. Now we choose Newman Haas Racing next because they have the fastest combination of drivers in the business today with Michael Andretti and Paul Tracy. Owner Carl Haas, he knows what his drivers need and he builds the program around them. Now, there's a lot of concern, however, because these two did not get on very well last year, so their relationship may take a little bit of time to gel. And if Michael does not get a win early in the season, he may just get frustrated. The next team showcases a young lion who many believe should already have had his first IndyCar win, and a rookie with a famous racing name. Robbie Gordon is very simply this. He's young, he's aggressive, fast, and fearless. Owner Derek Walker is a good leader, he's a motivator, and he has to be because his livelihood depends on his team's success. Fittipaldi's Formula One experience will also help. But to be a true championship contender, Gordon needs to develop technically. And we wonder just how much of Walker's time will be taken up coaching young Fittipaldi. It's hard to call Rahal Hogan a dark horse or a sleeper, but I think it's accurate. Bobby's relieved to be out of the chassis manufacturing business he was in 2 years ago, and he should excel via his technical savvy with the new Lola. His new teammate, Raul Boesel, he's very fast, he's consistent, and he's very hungry for a win. But how will this pressure get to him if that win doesn't come very quickly? And is this the beginning of Rahal making a move from the cockpit to the car owner status? Completing the Big Five is last year's pleasant surprise, Team Green, with Rookie of the Year Jacques Villeneuve. Now sole owner of the team, Barry Green, is a racer, he's a very good manager, and a motivator. Villeneuve, very strong technically, and his relationship with engineer Tony Sacali is exceptional. Now, it's hard for me to find any weakness here, except that they may suffer from having a lack of technical feedback only from one car. But it sure would be IndyCar's loss if this sensational driver ever decides to part ways and go to Formula One.
Let's talk about some of the other teams. How about Bettenhausen?
Proven engine and chassis combination with last year's Penske. Johansson is very fast, but he has to be mistake-free under pressure. Also, it's vital they make that car work on the new 94 spec tires.
Pac West, brand new again this year?
Brand new team, rejuvenated Danny Sullivan. He's a proven winner. However, new teams tend to take a little bit of time just to get their act together, so I don't see them in the victory lane.
And how about Foyt, the revolving door situation?
I think the return of Eddie Cheever there is a stable factor. I just don't get the feeling that Foyt's management is strong enough for them to be race winners.
Now, we could go through the entire entry list, but let's wrap up with Chip Ganassi Racing.
I think Brian Herta could be the surprise of the year. I think his relationship with Mo Nunn, his engineer, has grown very quickly, and Herta is exceptionally good feeling what these cars like and what they need. So I think Mo Nunn with Herta may pay dividends for Chip Ganassi.
Some great information. We'll talk to you after Miami. Good to see you.
It'll be a great season.
That's right. Another major racing story broke Friday when Porsche announced that it has pulled the plug on the rest of their involvement in the World Sports Car Championship. That means no Sebring and, most surprising, no Le Mans. The team, who had a stellar driver lineup, including Mario Andretti, Scott Goodyear, and Jeff Brabham, pulled out of the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona just days before that event due to a change in IMSA's rules. And here's a look at the first day qualifying from the IndyCar race in Miami. Some big surprises. Taking the provisional pole at 104 is Gilles Ferrand. Michael Andretti is second. Mauricio Gugelmin is third, followed by Christian Fittipaldi and Scott Pruitt. The next five, Paul Tracy, Andre Ribeiro, Emerson Fittipaldi, Jimmy Vasser, and Raul Boesel. Welcome back to Speed Week. Some think the NASCAR Winston Cup season gets underway for real once the show leaves Daytona and heads to Rockingham. Jeff Gordon became the second pole sitter of the year, and his mission was twofold. A Unocal bonus of over $91,000 was waiting in victory lane. Gordon led the 42-car field to the green, but outside front row starter Ricky Rudd garnered his 5 bonus points early by leading lap 1, but the lead was short-lived as Gordon was back up front by lap 3. First caution came out on lap 58 when Ted Musgrave and Lake Speed came together on the backstretch. Musgrave continued on, but Speed was sent into the inside retaining wall. Both were uninjured. On lap 91, Kenny Wallace got loose, slid up the track right into Rick Mast, sending the school driver hard into the wall. As the cars scrambled, Mark Martin's Ford was flipped down the side. Mast, who had run as high as third, finished 35th. Some of the best racing occurred down on the pit road. The leading group, including Gordon, Rudd, Wallace, and Earnhardt, had several great battles for the first out across the white line. Here's the most frightening crash on lap 180. Coming off turn 4, Joe Nemechek bumped Jimmy Hensley, sending him spinning in front of the field. Greg Sachs was unable to stop and slammed right into the rear end, lifting the car completely off the ground. Both drivers checked out uninjured. Several dramas unfolded during the final 100 laps. Two-time Rockingham winner Earnhardt was fighting handling problems, but managed to stay on the lead lap, eventually finishing third. Defending race winner Wallace suffered engine problems, and his season continues its slow start. 34th at Daytona and a disappointing 24th at the Rock. Most impressive was Bobby Labonte in only his second start in the Interstate Batteries Monte Carlo. After leading laps 376 to 409, Labonte was firmly positioned in second when he suddenly spun coming out of turn 2. Reminiscent of Earnhardt last year at Martinsville, Labonte calmly regained control and, thanks to the caution, did not lose his spot. He was rewarded with a career-best runner-up result. In the final 83 laps, the DuPont Chevrolet of Gordon was unstoppable. At 23, he becomes the youngest winner ever at Rockingham, and with a Unocal bonus, his take-home pay for the weekend was over $167,000.
Unbelievable day for this DuPont Chevrolet. The new Monte Carlo is an awesome car, and you know, I never thought we'd have them like we did today. And we had some downfalls. I mean, we had to work real hard. This is a long race. God, I mean, I'm worn out. Halfway through, I was like, God, my muscles are hurting already. But I tell you what, this one's for Brooke. Today's our 3rd-month anniversary of being married. So that Unocal bonus, we might get us the pool. This is awesome. Awesome day.
Earnhardt takes a familiar seat atop the points by 29 over Martin. Daytona winner Marlin drops to 3rd with his 12th place finish, followed by Dale Jarrett. Steve Grissom scored a career-best 6th and is now 5th in the points. The Interstate Batteries crew got an additional nod when crew chief Jimmy Makar was named the Western Auto Mechanic of the race. The team led 62 laps, finished 2nd. Makar picks up an extra $2,000 for his efforts. Meantime, the $45,000 fine that was assessed Junior Johnson at Daytona for an illegal manifold has been reduced by $10,000. Johnson filed an appeal that was heard by a 3-member panel in Charlotte on Monday night. Johnson and crew chief Mike Beam have also been placed on a 4-race probation period. Charlotte and Atlanta Motor Speedway owner Bruton Smith announced Tuesday that he will build a new racing facility in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on land owned by son of former presidential candidate Ross Perot. The planned 1.5-mile tri-oval will have seating for over 160,000, sky boxes, 24-degree banking, and a 2.5-mile road course. What it does not have yet is a commitment from NASCAR for Winston Cup race dates. The series moves to Richmond, Virginia this Sunday for the 400 laps on the tough 3/4-mile short track. Here now with his pit row picks for the race is my colleague Benny Parsons. Benny?
With the first short track race of the 1995 season this weekend at Richmond, Rusty Wallace jumps out as the favorite. He's won 8 of 16 short track races over the past 2 seasons and has 4 career wins at Richmond. Now, another driver that can't be overlooked is Terry Labonte. He dominated the race at Richmond last September and seems to have a great setup for this track. In another Henry car, Jeff Gordon had a 3rd and 2nd last year and could pull off his first career short track win this weekend. Last year's surprise team, Ricky Rudd's Tide Ford, should also put together a strong run. The Chesapeake, Virginia native considers Richmond his home track and knows it very well. After the Pontiac Excitement 400, we move on to Atlanta. I look forward to seeing you there.
This edition of Benny Parsons Pit Row Tips is brought to you by Pit Row Reports, the fantasy motorsports challenge that allows you to manage your own racing team. Remember, folks, you have until March 8th to enter the first lap competition. Call 1-800-4-PIT-ROW for all the details of the 1995 Fantasy Motorsport Challenge and your subscription to Pit Row Reports.
Believe it or not, it is snowing in Richmond, Virginia, and qualifying has been postponed for both the Winston Cup and Busch Grand National Series. And we'll be back with more Speed Week right after this.
Introducing Continental's Bake Sale with great low fares to destinations throughout the Caribbean, Mexico, and Florida.
And welcome back to Speed Week. Much of the attention last weekend at Rockingham focused on our next guest. It's 2 races at Daytona and the Rock and 2 wins for the Mark Rippon Motorsports Busch Grand National entry driven by Chad Little. And he joins us now. Chad, first of all, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave. It's good to be on your show.
Rarely have we seen a car as hooked up as yours was last Saturday. Can you believe that you're 2 for 2?
Not really. I mean, if you'd asked me last year, Chad, can you start the season out winning Daytona and Rockingham, I would have said, well, how about if we just start with 1 race? I mean, that would be good for the time being. But I don't know, everything just came together. We're not doing anything different than last year. It's the same cars. Of course, we switched to the V8 engines this year, but just everybody's working really well together. And I think whatever we're doing, I want to keep doing it because I'm enjoying this winning thing.
So now you move to a short track at Richmond. What car will you be in and what will the focus be?
Well, we're going to take a different car to Richmond. It's actually our short track car, one that we build over the winter time. Built it as light as possible to try to get as much left side weight as we can, and we'll be bringing a different motor than Rockingham. So really, it's it's kind of what we've been talking about at the shop, and that is, okay, we did good at Daytona, we did good at Rockingham. Now let's put those 2 behind us and let's go to Richmond and see how we can do. It's a new slate. It's a short track race now. It's short track races are the ones that over the winter we talked about we wanted to improve the most on. We felt as a team that we could improve in the short track area more than any other area, and if we could do that, then we'd have our best chance at winning this championship. So we're off to a good start.
Chad, at Daytona, we saw your owner, Mark Rippon, cheering, worrying, coaching, and jumping sky high as you crossed the finish line. Tell us what your relationship is like and what you've learned from each other.
Mark and my relationship actually goes back clear to high school. We attended high school together in Spokane, and then we went on to Washington State University, where, of course, he was the big football player on campus, and everybody knew him. And I got to know him more at college than in high school. And when he finished college, he went on and was drafted by the Redskins, and I moved back east shortly after that and started my racing career. And we just kept in touch. He would come to some of my races, I'd go to some of his games. And then my career was kind of going up and down, and I was in, I'd say, a slump at the time, and I had a chance to get something going with a man named Greg Pollux, and I got Greg and Mark together, and we started talking about Mark Rippon Motorsports. Mark was hot off of winning Super Bowl 26, and what he does for us today is probably more important than anything he could have done when we formed the team, and that is that he brings to our team a real championship quality because he's been to the playoffs several times, he's been to the Super Bowl, and he understands what the leadership is in a team type of sport. So he brings that championship element to our team, and the guys really look up to him for that reason. He's very motivational, and it's kind of inspiring to see a person like that and to have him around and get to work with him.
Of course, much has been discussed about your decision to put your Winston Cup career on hold and join the Busch Series. Now, revenge, it's kind of a strong word, but is it sweet for you?
It's very sweet. I mean, the last 2 wins, I can't hardly describe the emotions that go through your mind and your feelings that you have. Winning Daytona was just unbelievable. It was. I was keying the mic, trying to say hi to the guys, and all I could hear is, ah! They're screaming in the background, and I mean, it was so exciting. And then to back it up at Rockingham and run the way we did, it's just, it's hard for me to even imagine that we've won 2 races in a row, but it is very, very sweet. And I think moving to the Busch Series was the best thing that I could have done for my career. It's helped me as a person. It's helped me definitely as a driver. It's made me more mature as a driver. It's taught me a lot of patience. And right now we just have a good thing going. We have a good motor program. It's real solid. Motors are lasting long. They're making good horsepower. We are building good race cars that are lasting. And, we finished last year, 1994 season, pretty strong. Accumulated more points than any other team the second half of the season. And we just wanted to, we talked over the winter, what could we do? Well, we needed to start the year off with the same momentum that we finished last year, but I didn't imagine that it would be the kind of momentum of winning 2 races in a row.
Defending Busch Series champion David Green is off to a very difficult start. What do you think about your chances to win the title this year?
I think we have everything in place that you could need to win a championship, and the only thing that could really stop us right now is just a long streak of bad luck. We've got the motors, the cars, the crew, the pit stops are going well. I mean, we've got a lot of momentum that's carried over from Daytona and Rockingham and last year. The sponsorship with Bear and Harris Teeter is very solid. The ownership backing with Greg and Mark is solid. So, I mean, all the ingredients that make a good team we have in place right now. And I'm not saying we're the only team that has that in place, but right now they're all working together where everything is gelling, and it takes all those ingredients gelling and mixing together at the right time to make a championship run. And I think we have that right now, and I don't see any reason why we don't have a legitimate shot at it.
Okay, now on a lighter note, Chad, we've recovered a piece of history for you. Do you remember this collision in what may be remembered as the game of the century? Well,
that was, I knew who John Force was. I'd never actually met him. In fact, that collision second there was hi, John, I'm Chad. And we became friends after that. Not immediately after that, mind you. I mean, it took a while. In fact, I think immediately after that, he said some things that I can't repeat right now, but that was just the heat of the moment, I guess. Maybe I took that charity softball event a little too serious, but you know how competition is, and we just, we had a good time. We did win the game, and that's what's important. So I've never actually had a chance to say, that I'm sorry, John, but I guess if I had a chance to do it again, I'd probably run over you again.
Hey, Chad, thanks a lot for joining us, and best of luck to you.
Dave, thanks for having me on SpeedWeeks, and hope to see you real soon.
Chad has a 30-point lead over Terry Labonte going into Saturday's Hardee's Frisco 250 at Richmond. We'll be back with more right after this. The FIA has released their 1994 broadcasting statistics, boasting a total of over 45 billion viewers who tuned into races and Formula One related programming. 121 countries carry Formula One racing, and ESPN will begin its 14th consecutive season of coverage on March 26th with the Grand Prix of Brazil. With those kinds of numbers, it's easy to understand why the death of Ayrton Senna last May at Imola is still being felt worldwide. 9 months later, Italian authorities have concluded their investigation, culminating in a 500-page report that says the accident was probably caused by steering failure. The car has been turned over to the Williams team, who will now conduct their own search. The report also states that the crash that took the life of Austrian Roland Ratzenberger during practice at Imola was caused by high-speed suspension failure. Now we move on to off-road racing, where Marty Reed has the details on last weekend's Mickey Thompson Off-Road Stadium Series. Marty?
Over 35,000 fans turned out at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium to see the second edition of the new Thunder Truck class. And the big V8s did not disappoint. At the drop of the green flag, Scott Douglas could not negotiate a tight turn one, and he ends up going up and over the hydro barrier. First-round winner Rob McCachran then pushed his way past Mike Doherty to take over second place, and all of this is still in lap number 1. Early leader Evan Evans hits the corner a little too hot. He pushes all the way into the barrier. That gives up the lead to Rob McCachran. Scott McKinney took over second place, but as you can see from the onboard shot, McCachran was already long gone. Rob cruised to his second straight win and a comfortable seat at the top of the point standings. For SpeedWeek, I'm Marty Reed.
All right, thanks, Marty. Now, here's a look at the CarQuest racing calendar with events coming up. For all your auto parts needs, you'll find it at CarQuest. We turn our attention now back to Miami, where the Indy cars are enthusiastically being welcomed back. It's a city of cool colors and hot spots. We welcome to SpeedWeek Miami resident, professional race car driver, and 10-year PPG pace car pilot, Alice Ridpath, who's on a search for the city's most famous racing resident.
Thanks, Dave. Race fever has definitely been recaptured here in Miami. This town has lots to offer. Sun, surf, seafood, and this weekend, speed. Many Miamians will be out of the track to witness the debut of the 1995 IndyCar season. But I have a feeling I already know who the star of the race weekend will be. You guessed it, Miami celebrity IndyCar star Emerson Fittipaldi. We're at the Omni Mall, which is right across the street from the race circuit. Maybe Emo's here. Let's go look. We're in search of Emo. Have you seen Emo?
No.
Where do you think he'd be?
Somewhere in Miami.
Excuse me. Hi, have you seen Emo?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Where do you think he'd be?
Try Snapper at Bayside.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Snappers.
We understand that Emo eats here quite a bit. Is he here?
He's not here yet, but I know exactly what he always orders.
Orange juice. I should have known. Well, you know what they say. If you can't find a race driver at the racetrack, chances are you'll find him on the golf course or in a boat. So where's Emo? Well, we're halfway there. This is Emo's boat. Johnny Rutherford, have you seen Emo?
I have not. We saw a boat go whistling by, but I don't think it was Emo.
Have you seen your teammate Emo?
I have not seen Emo today, no. Well, it's only 2:30, so it's a bit early.
Well, we found him, and so did everyone else.
We are great fishermen. I mean, the racing driver are the best fishermen in the world.
You certainly are. We've been looking for you all day long. We finally found you, Emerson.
Well, I was on the track at 7 o'clock this morning, riding my bicycle. You should be there.
Thanks, Emerson. For SpeedWeek, this is Alice Ridpath.
So we'll see if Emo can find victory lane on Sunday. Bob Jenkins will be back right here at midnight on Friday, March 17th for St. Patty's Day edition of the show. You won't want to miss his great Alaskan adventure highlights. I'm Dave Calabro. We close tonight with more from the Miami Marlboro Grand Prix Charity Fishing Derby. Have a great weekend, everybody.